Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Avery, and I am the Executive Director of Quanta Change. And this is the second of two videos I'm doing about why I'm not a big fan of actively setting boundaries. So setting boundaries, as you may know, is about asserting what's okay for you or not as a way to try and get people to treat you with respect. And if that's working for you, setting boundaries, then that's great. It's really important to know what your wants and needs are and to be able to live a life in which they are honored and respected. And that's a goal that I have for all of my clients. It's really just about how we get there. I've really seen a couple of ways in which boundary setting becomes problematic for people. On my last video, I covered how some people's boundaries just get run over and demolished. And today, we're going to look at how setting boundaries can really create a barrier to good relationships and the other good things that you really want to have in your life. So it's like you're getting caught between setting boundaries in order to keep yourself safe, really, and feeling lonely or invisible or passed over or left out as a result of these big boundaries. So the root of this struggle with boundaries is something called learned distress, and it's stored in your brain in a way that makes it inaccessible to most methods that we use to try and bring about positive change in our lives. But I'm going to talk today about how you can get at it. So learned distress is the Quanta Change term for the feeling that you absorbed very early in life that there's something wrong with you being just the way that you are. And learned distress becomes the automatic generating force behind all of our negative situations and thoughts and feelings. So safety, including the safety to be and express ourselves, is a fundamental human need. And learned distress, unfortunately, can make you feel like the only way to be safe is to build such big boundaries that it's kind of like you end up living in a virtual fortress. You're safe, but you're cut off from everyone and the entire world in a way. And not only do I see relationship issues coming from this big boundary fortress, but also issues with people at work and in other areas of their lives. So maybe they can't find a job, maybe they get passed over for promotions all the time, or maybe they can't get people to hear them, like, say, healthcare providers. All of this coming from this kind of big boundary fortress issue. So here's the problem. Learned distress is stored at this deep feeling level that makes it inaccessible to your rational thinking brain. So unfortunately, just thinking or understanding this differently, so maybe trying to just convince yourself that you really are safe when you don't feel safe, it doesn't change that deep feeling level that you just aren't safe. That's really generating this issue and this need for big boundaries. In other words, you really cannot think or act your way out of your learned distress. But there's good news, because Quanta Change, the work that I've been doing for the last 23 years, was developed to get to that deep feeling level and allow you to peel off layers of learned distress permanently. When you do, your core well-being expands to take the place that learned distress was sitting. So well-being is the feeling that you are just great being yourself and that you really can be safe just being yourself. And the more space that feeling takes up inside of you, the more that feeling generates your situations and your interactions and your relationships with people. So you might find yourself spontaneously sharing and engaging more openly than you ever have before, and finding that this actually feels safe in a way that's totally new to you and different and surprising. Not because you've made yourself safe in some way, it just is safe and it feels really different to you. And you might find that people are treating you differently in all of this. And that's often without doing anything differently at all. This really is how it works. This is what I've been seeing for my clients for more than 2 decades now. So let me give you an example of this. I had a client who had done everything possible to find a new job. She'd been out of work for a couple of years. She'd done lots of advanced training. She'd done a lot of networking. Nothing was working. But the more learned distress she peeled off in this realm of safety, the more opportunities started showing up for her without her doing anything differently. She said, I can't believe this is happening. It feels like magic. I don't know what happened. So in short order, she had a brand new job that was actually much better than anything she'd hoped for. And then as she started experiencing more of this newfound safe visibility for herself, more opportunities started showing up in the course of settling into this job. And she said it was just amazing and different than anything she could have experienced before. So if this kind of change sounds intriguing to you, if you'd like to feel more safe being yourself in the world and more visible at the same time in a way that feels really good and safe to you, the first step to finding out if Quanta Change is for you is to find out which of the 6 patterns of learned distress you have. They are called the idealist, the perfectionist, the optimist, the caregiver, the defeatist, and the dictator. And to do that, you're going to go to my website and take a free, in-depth, scientifically validated personality test that measures learned distress. And I will send you your report with your pattern and the kinds of positive change that people with your pattern tend to experience from Quanta Change. So to do that, go to my website, quantachange.com. That's QUANTA change.com, and click on the free report button. So thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to go back and look at that other boundaries video. And I hope that you'll join me again soon for another way in which Quanta Change really can help you feel good being you. Thanks so much.